Hey, good morning, guys. Hope you had an awesome long weekend. It's Goose here. Welcome to STN Stock Talk with Ricky and Goose. Hope you guys had a great weekend, guys. It's a short week, so we'll be smart this week. Hopefully, you guys have come to stocktraders.net. We're one of the leading online trading communities. We have a premium room as well as a free trading floor. We cover a lot on these things in a short 10-minute period. Feel free to join stocktraders.net, the free side, and send any of us a message, guys, if you have any questions of anything we're covering. Any of the instructors are happy to help you out. Just want to throw out there that and remind you guys that nothing we're talking about today is any type of solicitation. These are things that we're obviously looking at ourselves, and then we pass along ideas and thoughts. Please do your own homework and read the disclaimer below that's in the description area. I also want to say that we're not trying to throw 10, 15 ideas at you. We're just trying to pick a couple quality ideas and thoughts. And obviously, there's a lot of names hitting scan. We're not going to cover them all. But feel free to hit us up, like I said, at stocktraders.net with any questions on anything that we're looking at or that you're looking at and you want another perspective on. With that being said, guys, we're going to start off the week. Let's see what Ricky has. I know he has a couple good ones that I actually want to hear some info on. So, Ricky, good morning, and why don't you take over?
Thanks a lot, Goose, and thanks for joining us as always, everyone. Hope you guys had a really great long weekend. We went down to Myrtle Beach for the weekend and had a nice little getaway. Unfortunately, unbeknownst to me, my daughter's elementary school did not have a 3-day weekend. So I got a nice little voicemail last night explaining that my daughter was truant. Anyways, let's get into my list today. It's a short one, and I'll pass it off to Goose. First up, I'm watching ACHV for a short setup. The daily chart really tells you everything you need to know about the fundamentals of this company. But in case that's not a compelling enough case for you, you don't need to look much further than the shady purchase agreement with none other than our lovely friends over at Lincoln Park Capital. I won't read the filing for you, but if you would like to see what a dirty little deal does look like, you should definitely read the latest 424B5 they have. The company's your typical going concern with negative cash flows and toxic financiers, pretty much your run-of-the-mill junk. And you may remember OGXI. Well, this is them. They reverse merged a while back with ACHV being the surviving ticker symbol, even though OGXI was the surviving underlying company. And basically, it's basically an ATM with LPC, and obviously you can see the levels on the daily. I'm not expecting any pop to really be sustainable. I would look to short anything that is considered substantial. Obviously, it has to set up first for me, though, and everybody needs to have their own plan on this one. The float should be right around 7 million, so it might be able to get some legs, but I do think Lincoln Park's going to sell into any pops, and I would like to join them. Next thing on my list is going to be RAD, Rite Aid. I like the chart for technical reasons. It has a huge float, so this isn't something that I'd be trading on a momentum basis. But I do like the daily chart on the week or on the year. You can see it put in a nice bottom, and we're starting to get higher lows and higher highs. And I actually really like the weekly on it as well. And as you can see, I actually think that the low we put back in November may have been the bottom, and we could be seeing the beginning of some actual upside to the name. On the weekly, it has some obvious resistance around the 280 level with the 50-day or the 50-period moving average right around there, as well as these levels to the left on the chart. I like it over 250, and I think if it does clear 280, we see a nice swing long on it. But if it were opening around those levels, I'd actually be looking to fade it. But you can see the pre-market is not looking so strong on it. It was up high and has pretty much retraced almost the whole thing. So it's going to depend on if it can show like a ability to reclaim that 250 level and then start putting in some higher lows and higher highs, and then I'll look to join the trend. But if it can't do either, it may be something that just ends up not being traded today. But as we always say, just because we talk about something today doesn't mean the trade has to happen today. It might be something that just develops over the coming days. So we'll have to keep an eye on it, guys. But that's all for me. I'm going to pass it back over to Goose. I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say.
Hey, thanks, Ricky. Appreciate it very much. And good stuff, as always. Just the RAD thing, obviously, I told the pre-market I'm trying a little bit of a long on this retrace here, but we'll see what happens. It's acting a little funny today, a little heavy. I'm going to get right into my list, though. Start off with Walmart. So, I have some funny thoughts on Walmart. I have a kind of a funny list because one of my stocks is jumping up on me, and I loved it, and I want to show you what I was looking at. But just starting off with Walmart, and keep this in mind, guys, is I always factor in fundamentals, but I'm always going to show, try to look at what the tape's telling me, okay? We have something very obvious on Walmart to me, and that's this 96 level. So just looking, quickly at it, yes, I know, what's going on and earnings and all this kind of, stuff that's against us, but it doesn't mean that I can't get a play off a certain technical level and a turn for a couple points or a few points. And that's kind of what I was looking at here. I want to see how it handled this 96. This is a 5-minute chart I'm looking at. So I'm back on the chart here on the right. And I want to kind of see if it kind of reclaims a little bit here and makes a push at the open up back up to $100. See if it wants to test the figure there and maybe get a little shove. I probably would look to fade big picture, today, especially with the market heavy. And I'm not sure you're going to get the bounce that I'm wanting with the market also heavy, but I want to see how it acts at the 96 level. It's definitely a technical area. And I think it warrants a look. If it breaks this area, I'll tell you, probably tomorrow I'll be looking to, get a little bit heavier on the short side for a fade down to that 200 day area, which is going to be down in here. So that'll be a pretty clean break if it wants to fade it. I might give it a couple days to see and just join trends. But today I'm looking for a turn in it, maybe a test on one, on 100. We'll see what happens though. I want to see what the open brings us. Going to flip along to ROKU real quick. So ROKU was a perfect setup that I love. The guys in the room will know that this is something that I look at. It closed yesterday, Friday over the 50-day, right? And it also closed over this pivot. And that's a big buy signal from me that I use. Obviously, I factor everything into it. But I think they're coming out with earnings either tomorrow or Thursday. I'm just a little lost in my days right now. But I know their earnings are due out near term as well. But this is one now. What do I do? Well, I still think this stock has had range, as you can see on Friday. It had a $4 range. This is a name that could trade $4 range. So what I'm looking at, and the reason I still have it up there, is with the market heavy, I want to see if it provides me with some opportunities to buy a dip and join a trend, especially if the market wants to turn and strengthen up during the after the 10 o'clock or time frame or so. So this is definitely on my list. I'll look for a retrace on this back in the, whether it's 50 or 49. I'll visit it then, but I'm definitely long bias on ROKU. I love the daily setup on this, and I think there's plenty of room on the upside that I'm going to be looking to join. So there you go on ROKU. KORS, I just wanted to, a quick note again on KORS, and this is a funny one because I put a couple arrows on KORS, meaning you could get both ways on this thing. And what I want to show you is it's really been holding. Let me drag this out of this 63.40 area, which is a nice little support area. You can see right in here. So you got this area, you got this. It held for a couple days, and with the market weak, what I want to do is I want to see if it would test this area. Do a little pull. It hasn't really gone down there yet. It's in the 63s. It's just down a little bit or a smidge this morning. Maybe test it and turn back up with the market. That was one thing, thought that I had. The other thought is I want to see what it does on the resist side up at the 65, area. And if it also wants to break through 65, I think there's some nice room. So I think there's a few different trades on KORS kind of setting up. So it's definitely on my watch today. Hopefully I didn't lose you guys. If I did, make sure you just send me a message in the stock traders room. I'll be happy to go over that a little bit slower with you. But I am looking just to review, see how it holds the 63.40 area. That's my first thought with the market turn. If it wants to break through the 65, 66 area, continue on for more push. And if it wants, with the market heavy, you have a couple highs here to kind of trade off of in the 20-day, which is 65 area. So I think the market's going to help us along and make a decision on this. But I think there's definitely could be a nice trade in KORS today. Lastly, the one that I wanted to pop in here was, this is a real silly one. Some of you guys might think, why does he have RIOT up there? Listen, again, just technically, all I want to do is watch this. Had a big drop down from 18, came in, it was on CNBC. All I want to do is see what it does off this $10 level. I'm not saying this is the greatest company and I'm going to be the guy sitting out there saying it's going back to 20. I'm not saying that at all. I just like the technical level. You got the 200-day here. You got the figure, right down here, $10. I just want to see if it wants to hold 10, do a quick turn, and get a point 50 out of it or something like that. So, I think 1.5 is a lot to expect. But needless to say, I do like the opportunity if it sets up. Everything, as we say every day, it has to be set up. And I'm going to finish on this. I talked to the guys early in the morning in my pre-market chat with them, and I'm just going to say, guys, let's really, really focus on our entries. I've noticed a couple of things over the last week or two. That it's been a tougher market. We've talked about that in this pre-market, that we go over. And make sure your entries are spot on, because they're not doing the breakouts or the fails like they were a few weeks back. So don't try to for me, I'm not going to hit it through that fail or through the breakout. Taking it. That's not my plan. My plan is to sell it against a resistance, buy it against a support area. And that's the market right now that it's been giving us. And make sure you're taking trades too. That's, I'm going to make sure I'm taking trades, at least 3/4 of my trade. I'll leave a core on. I could always re-add to the winner, which we talked about on Friday. Anyway, that's it for me today, guys. Let's have a great day starting off the week. It is a short week, and I'll turn it back over to Ricky, and have a super day.
Thanks, Goose. Really liking that ROKU idea as well. Everybody, congrats to all the shorts on MDXG. They just unhalted. Now they're under $10. As always, guys, have a plan, trade your plan. If not, don't take the trades. Stay safe out there. Come join us over at stocktraders.net, see what we're all about. Everybody, let's crush it today. Peace.